This episode of the Red Bull Rant is brought to you by the fine patrons that support us through patreon.com/Red Bull Rant. You can support us for the low price of $1 a month, and you can get exclusive content, including a monthly wrap-up for the New York Red Bulls. We want to send a special shout-out to our patrons who support us at $5 a month. That is our producer-level reward. Thank you to Jeremiah Dempster and William Martin. Now, on to the show.
The Red Bull Rant is a free-flowing podcast with three soccer-loving idiots who don't know when to shut their dumb potty mouths. So listener discretion, it's pretty much advised.
Welcome, my friends, and friends. This is the Red Bull Rant podcast. I'm your host, Jason Iapicco.
I'm Pat McDonald. I think Truman just had a stroke.
Just fixing my jaw, and this is episode 290, Through the Barbershop Window.
You know, if you go through a barbershop window, you're definitely fixing more than your jaw, so.
Yeah. Oh, my jaw's sore. I don't know what's happening now.
That's all I know is you open your mouth really wide and kind of like...
I just assumed you were stretching out, getting ready to talk, so.
Yeah. Talk stretching. There we go.
So, that was a good win, wasn't it?
Hooray.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Absolutely.
We gotta dive in. Like, let's not even bullshit. Let's
3-0 win, 3-1 aggregate. Before we do the tweets, just have to bring it up. First team since 2010, first higher seed since 2010 to lose the first game on the road and then win the series outright without needing extra time.
Man, a lot of firsts for this team, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And Seattle tried to do it.
I think there's a tweet in here that kind of mentions something like that.
Can I just say that Red Bulls invented something before Seattle did?
Oh, man. I know something Seattle invented on Sunday.
All right, let's go to tweets.
All right. There's actually a bunch. I kind of want to put two of them together because one came tonight, one came the other day after the game. But let's start with the ones from Sunday. At Dad of 39, Boris Sheffrin says, Red Bulls need Royer to show up like that each game. Don't forget that Aaron Long was a huge force and Tyler Adams was simply everywhere at all times. BWP, these are now your games to shine. Luis Robles lead us to the cup. You know, he had to include everyone's Twitter handle, so I'm just like having to read Twitter handles.
That's why we didn't get all 11 players, is because he couldn't have fit all 11 Twitter handles in there.
Yeah,
right.
Enough characters.
Creepy Taxi. Steven Santos says, just win. Michael Lathrop at Spudmall5 says, this club continues to defy historical hurdles.
It's true.
There you go. Overcoming their demon known as the Columbus Crew should build more confidence and believe in themselves that anything is possible. It's up to them whether or not they win MLS Cup. Red Bull Nation is behind them. Let's make history.
Do it.
Grateful Strat 23, Casey Jones says, coming back and handling business. Moving on. And then I'm going to read two, which I guess we can actually respond to this one, even though it's kind of talking about the next series, but whatever. Mr. Jared Marcel at all444 says, if RBNY goes down by 1 in aggregate in Atlanta, are we going to be nearly as stressed heading into leg 2? We harassed Atlanta at RBA so badly that Martinez was a complete non-factor and Tata wouldn't even shake Armas' hand. I couldn't be any more pleased with this matchup. And then I'm going to go to, give me 1 second. I'm going to go to the other reply that was like this. Here you go. Red Coach J, Jeremiah said today, what would your feelings be if we went to Atlanta in 2 weeks and ended up with the same result we got in Columbus? Any more confident given how the Columbus series ended, or more worried given opposition and it being the second time this postseason?
So I'm sorry, because I was kind of answering things. Did you get the tweets from like yesterday from Red Bull First Avenger and Mark?
Yeah, those are just the ones I read off the reply. There's a bunch of other ones.
Okay, I feel like we should read some of these.
Yeah.
Or did we want to answer how we feel if they go 1-1-0?
Yeah, I mean, we're not. I don't think we're going to preview the game, but I mean,
No, what?
They asked. Let's answer, right?
Yeah, I'll say I don't want to do that again.
No.
I think and I think Red Bulls proved earlier this season they can score 3 in Atlanta. So why not 1? It just at the away goal is so crucial. We took care of the business at home. There's no question about that. But it's. Had they, was anyone feeling confident when we were up 2-0? It's like I said to the guy in front of me. I said to the guy in front of me, I was like, I want one more. I was like, I don't want to sit on 2-0 because if they score 1, we're in trouble. So I'll probably be just as worried. But I mean, I did say if they could come back in this series, the sky's the limit for this team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll agree with you. I think the way they've played Atlanta would give you a little bit better feeling down a goal. I mean, we're just assuming they're down a goal in the next series, right? That's all we're talking about. And if that was the situation, I think you would feel a little bit more confident just considering the way they played them this year, as opposed to Columbus, and that gave us all worry because this was a team that had bossed around the Red Bulls in the past in the playoffs. So, yeah, if you're just looking at past games, I think you'd naturally be a little bit more confident.
I might not be because Atlanta is a very good road team. They had 10 wins on the road this year. That's not.
They didn't have one.
What do you say?
You know where they didn't have one?
Oh, I know. I'm just saying they still had 10. They still had 10 road wins. It's not including the one in the playoffs. So I don't know. So I was nervous, like Pat. I was nervous at 2-0. I was watching it with my girlfriend, and she says to me, "You can breathe." I was like, "No, I can't. I won't breathe until the game's either over or we score a third."
Right.
No, but if we go honestly, given historical precedent, if you go down 1-0 against Atlanta, odds are that you have a better shot of rebounding. But the concern is Atlanta is a better road team than Columbus. I mean, Columbus hadn't won a road game since they beat us back in July. So. Yeah.
Let me read these other couple tweets here that we had, because I know, Jay, you just brought them up.
Yeah.
One in particular. This was not actually. I mean, he just kind of. This is a tweet that we were mentioned in.
Yeah. There's no preemptive question for this,
but there's a gif of CM Punk, so I'm going to read this tweet. Gnome Sniper JM says. To Andrew Wiebe and Matt Doyle and any other MLS commentator that bets against the New York Red Bulls can eat my balls. Atlanta United was going to win the Shield? No. Columbus Crew move on? No. We got this. Hashtag F off, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And I think that was the first one we got actually after the game too.
Yeah. Now I'm just going to say this to JM here, and he's not the only one who bashes multiple-time guest Matt Doyle for when he talks about the Red Bulls. If you knew Matt Doyle personally, in the slightest, you would know the personal hell this man has gone through with this franchise. You would know that. He is not bashing the Red Bulls because he is a Red Bull hater. He gets mad at the team, and he talked about it in the previews. He talked about, them stepping up in the playoffs, and they never do, because he knows. He knows from experience. He's been around this team for 1,000 years.
He predates the team by, 974 years or whatever the number is?
Right, yeah. I mean, good grief. The guy knows what he knows. Trust me. He's been around the team for a while. He has seen the suffering that we've all suffered.
And he reaped Columbus' soul after the game, so it's all right.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so last tweet here is from, I believe this is Shield Guy, right?
It's a Shield Guy, yep.
At Flava Faber. Yeah, sure. He has likes and dislikes. He says his like is Royering making a comeback, and his dislike is Mawil impersonating my Royering attempts at home. That was a fun tumble.
Mawil's Royering was fantastic.
Yep. I'll read this other tweet. We'll just kind of get a couple of these out of the way from a little while ago. Alejandro Middleton says, "Great game Sunday. I never had a doubt we would advance. The press is real. This international break is annoying as hell. Do you guys think we would be impacted with 3 days between game 1 and game 2 of the Eastern Championship? Possibly tired legs to press Atlanta into submission. No shit. The three of us were just having this discussion on Facebook. What, yesterday?
Yeah.
And I was stupid. It's so stupid. The home team gets to play 3 days later.
And it's not just the Red Bulls. It is Sporting Kansas City too.
And it's all 4 teams have to play 3 days later. And I mean, KC and the Red Bulls get to be home. But you're not going to get the A game out of any of these teams.
Yeah, it sucks for multiple reasons. One, we draw terribly on weeknights. I mean, I'm hoping. I mean, there was 22,000 passionate, screaming fans there the other day. I mean, I'm hoping they're all in to show up on a Thursday night. But I mean, the plus is Atlanta has to make the same trip, and they got to play under the same conditions. So, hopefully, it'll affect each team equally, and whatever press we employ will be effective. And, to be fair to the team that Armas has built, I mean, he does employ the press for sure. We saw it for large portions of the game on Sunday. But he's also increased the passing ability of this team since they've been under his tutelage. So, I mean, none more exemplified than on the second goal. So,
yep.
They have multiple ways to beat you, which was certainly a very accurate criticism of the Marsh era. When the press didn't work, now what? Now at least they have multiple ways of, applying the attack against the opponent.
Yep. And we have one more tweet, but we will get to that later in the show. Jay, write that down. That we're going to read this tweet because it relates to something we're going to talk about later.
Yeah. So, Mr. Jared Marcel, we will get to you.
Yes.
There in the agenda.
There we go.
All right. So, actually, I should probably check the email just to make sure. I don't think we got any email, but
well, pop it up and let's. Oh, wow, Becky is messed up. Sorry, guys, I'm watching SmackDown and Becky Lynch is jacked up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, likes and dislikes. Truman, you can go first. What did you dislike about the Columbus match?
There's only one thing I could possibly dislike, and that I was not there. I was not in the South Ward or anywhere in that area watching that game with cool flames shooting off into the sky.
Fire.
Super, super bummed. Listen, I was at a friend's wedding, and we had a great time. I wouldn't have traded it. I had a great time at my friend's wedding. But it's just one of those things where two things that you'd want to do kind of cross the same time. And it's just, it was hard to avoid the score. And a friend of mine spoiled the first goal, and I didn't get to watch the game until, it was like 11 o'clock at night. So I guess that's the only bummer, was just not being there, not getting to watch it live.
Does your friend listen to the show?
He does not.
And tell the truth. Come on.
He does not listen to this show.
Yeah, tell the truth about it. You would have rather been at the game.
Yeah, that's true. I totally would have been at the game.
At least he didn't usurp your whole viewing experience.
He did not. He did not usurp it.
All right, Pat. What's your dislike?
My dislike, I guess, would have to be the 15 minutes of terror in the second. The Columbus came out hard, and for 15 minutes, I mean, they got like 3 corners within like 3 minutes of each other. It was a very nervy 15 minutes. I mean, obviously the payoff in the end was fantastic, but I could have done without those nervy 15 minutes. Because that was, I pretty much and I'm sure it was not the only one, was just kind of like, oh my God, I'm going to leave this building angry, aren't I? So could have done without that. But obviously the results more than made up for it.
It's okay to have a game where things are nervy a little bit, because that's really all it was, right? Just nervy moments. It was not. Yeah. Oh my God! Here comes Columbus. Here comes the goal. Here it comes.
Nothing really came close.
Right.
Like, I think the only saves Jules had to make were right to him. It's not.
There were no.
No, sorry. There was one. There was one he had to make, diving to his lower left or something like that. But
Yeah, they were certainly getting opportunity through offensive possession. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's but you know what? If that's what they needed to then take it to the house for the following 30 minutes, then who the hell am I to complain?
Somebody mentioned I think it was on the MLS preview thing, that the Red Bulls just kind of have a tendency to do that. They just have a tendency for parts of the game to lay off.
Mm-hmm.
They know when to lay off, and then they know when to go after them.
Yeah.
Maybe that was just one of those times, they were just kind of laying off for a little bit.
I think that was might have been Doyle. It might have been Doyle who was pointing out that, that they, especially under Armis, it's like they transition back and forth from press and chilling out for a bit far more effectively and regularly than they did under Marsh.
Yeah, I could see that. My dislike, and honestly, because I can't think of anything else, was the fact that I wasn't there either. And that's the only reason I wasn't there is I was not driving up on a Sunday night.
No,
this game. So I mean that,
and you'd have to drive up on a fucking Thursday night.
Yeah.
I mean, on the bright side, this would have been on a weekend, or because I had off on Monday, so I could have had I could have the excuse of not having to work next day. But I had a vacation. I'm saving my money for possible future games.
I will say this: if there's any possible future games in this year that you don't go to, you're banned from the follow-up episode.
Of course. All right. Likes. I'm going to go first with this one. My biggest like right now is that we got out of this game without a yellow card.
Yeah.
Was that a cardless game, by the way? It was cardless, right?
I checked to make sure. Nobody got a card on either team.
Yeah. It didn't seem like he was super interested in making any card, Mr. Alan Kelly.
And there are definitely some fouls that could have been yellow carded.
Yeah. There was I think Murillo had me nervous a little bit, but yeah.
But Davis was the only one in even a consideration for a yellow card suspension. I think that is still a possibility because stupid MLS and how cards reset. But we avoided it. So we get to go into leg one with the full squad, and that's a big thing.
Can't go wrong with that.
Nope. All right. My like of this game is what we talked about last week ad infinitum, and that was that the Red Bulls needed to score early. I said 10 minutes, and Pat, who said 20 minutes?
I said if they don't score in the first 20, there's a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I may have said 15.
So, I mean, there you go. They got the early goal in the 17th minute. 16th? 16th or 17th? It was the 17th. And it was exactly what the team needed because you saw the game change after they get that goal to make things completely even. It totally changed that whole game.
Mm-hmm.
It's the thing that we've just been hoping for so many playoff games. And it was that catalyst to completely, the Columbus had to open up at that point. They had to open the game up. And once they opened that game up, we saw what happened in the second half.
Yep. I'll start with a question. Who is probably the most ineffective player for the Red Bulls?
In this game or like in the past two games? Ineffective? BWP?
That would be him. And what have we been clamoring for years? And that's for somebody else to pick up the slack.
Yep.
So it was great to see, Alex Muil have a hell of a game. There's actually a great article about him on The Athletic that actually talks about – it's more or less a piece about how he's kind of forged this relationship with a girl little girl who's been struggling with cancer. She writes some letters every game. He actually wears a shirt of her for all the home game, pregame, stuff like that. Very nice article. But it also touched upon how, especially in the last couple months, he's really come on as a player. He had on that second goal, he was a part of the buildup and that extremely nice touch.
Everyone was.
It was a team goal. It was the ability of the team goal. But the final two assists, he found, he second guessed a shot, found Tyler Adams. Adams dumped it off to Royer, who had the open net essentially. And Royer again, another that's 2 goals that were just so extremely clutch. And, we were certainly worrying after the last game if he's going to be limited by his injuries. And this week he was not. And the good thing, the one good thing about this break is now he gets an extra 2 weeks to potentially heal up. And then, of course, and then Tyler Adams. It was Tyler Adams, the Tyler Adams we know and love. He was all over the place. He was phenomenal. So and
Clushan Davis, too, because he played a major defensive role.
I thought it was Sasha Collection. I'm sorry. No, the team, it was just a phenomenal team effort in this game. It was, they just completely snuffed out, except for that nervy 15 minutes. Columbus, and they showed the grit and determination this team has that we haven't really seen in other Red Bull teams in the playoffs, except in those years they're terrible and sneak in the back door and then make an unpredictable run. But you gotta love that effort. You assume you hope it's gonna continue. I mean, I assume it will, because they certainly have a tough task coming up.
I liked during the game. I think it was kind of early in the game where Columbus did have a lot of possession. And the commentator said, what did they say? The Red Bulls just need to get the ball and control the ball and put their passing together. Mm-hmm. And then they put together one of the best team goals ever.
Yeah,
ever.
It was like 3 minutes before that is when he said it.
Yep. I mean, the fact that I think Tyler Adams touched the ball second and then second to last in that whole sequence. Mm-hmm. Touched the ball and then went all the way up the field and was there to put the ball to Royer. Mm-hmm. Boy, I mean, good God, what a great goal that was.
I mean, I obviously want to see him do more as a Red Bull in the next month, but I do very much look forward to seeing what he does over in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so afterthoughts, because I had to look it up. Yellow card accumulation. Basically, if Davis does not get a yellow card in the first leg against Atlanta, it will reset, because basically if you earn your second yellow card in the second leg of the conference championship, you're still eligible to play an MLS Cup. So basically, the end of leg 1 resets your yellow card count.
Alrighty.
Very nice.
And Kamar Lawrence, like I mentioned, the fact that I think for the first time in a while, I actually saw him get up and help out on the wing of the attack. That was something that was definitely missing at Columbus.
Yep.
And I feel like him being able to push up, one, provides another option, because now you're not relying on the one side of the field the whole time. But it makes the attack more dynamic in general. Mm-hmm. And allows... And I think that's what gave Columbus the most troubles. Not that Kamar had any great balls into the box in this match, but being able to push forward meant they couldn't stuff balls in the box, or they couldn't keep more guys in the box. They had to cover both wings.
I mean, to kind of build on that point, I mean, has there been a Red Bull team in recent memory? I don't know if this is just because this is truly the best pack of players the organization has put together, or the general improvement of the league itself. But I mean, has there been a Red Bull team that has had more players who are good on the ball? I mean, you saw displays, like you said, Lawrence, Murillo, I just mentioned before, Muil, Adams, Royer, BWP. I mean, I said he was one of the worst players, but he did have a few nice passes. Kaku. Even Aaron Long, I remember, had a nice little dribble. It's like
everybody on this team, honestly, is good on the ball.
I mean, it's not something you used to see. I mean, you used to have at least one or two players who it's like, I get the ball, I boot it. That's what I can do.
Yep.
So it really is a joy to watch. I guess my afterthought would be, despite the criticism, and the justified criticism, I might say, by Taylor Twellman about how the other three teams sold out their building. That 22,000 that we had, it was an actual 22,000. There were very few empty seats in the sold sections, and it was popping, especially when that third goal happened. I mean, that place just absolutely
mayhem. mayhem. From watching it, Jay and I watching on TV, mayhem.
And it was just an absolute joy. I mean, I think on the third goal, I jumped forward so far, came really close to tripping on down, which I got to watch that out. But it was great, and I've seen, and I will say I'll throw some shade. I saw people criticizing the front office for not selling tickets. I mean, what do you want to do? I mean,
at some point, people have to buy the tickets. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's like I think that criticism largely comes to season ticket holders. As somebody who was a former season, or now current season ticket holder again, but in that period in between season tickets, they hounded me all the time. It's like they do hound people. It's like it's up to that person to buy a ticket.
Hell, I bought single game tickets and got hounded for 3 years straight.
Exactly. So they
every time I'm like, I live in Maryland. I'm not making it. What do you expect of me? It's like I would love to. If I was in the area, I would definitely buy it. But
yeah, I mean they're down. It's just it is what it is. I don't know what it's going to take for us to regularly sell out that building. I don't anymore. But
or not even just sell out the building, but for people to show up because
a
lot of those midfield seats are bought and paid for.
Yeah,
it's people don't show up.
Yeah. So it's but it is. Hopefully, we at least sell out the building for the next game.
For a Thursday night where we have to worry about people fighting traffic and getting in, and it's stupid. MLS just doesn't do anybody any favors.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my grill. I'm gonna pack all the grilling material before I go to work, and then go straight from work.
Yeah, smart. Smart. Well, no, you'll be coming to pick me up, right?
Oh yeah, I guess I gotta do that first. Yes, son of a bitch.
We'll meet up somewhere. We'll carpool.
Cool.
So this is the thing I don't understand about the scheduling for the next round. I get it. MLS Cup is on a Saturday, so I guess you want to give your players more time, and I guess the offices more time to get travel arrangements and stuff in place. But what's the difference between playing on Saturday or Sunday the week before versus Thursday, aside from the fact that you allow the teams to get more people in the stadiums? There's no competitive difference, right?
Right.
Because everybody's following the same schedule.
Also, I know MLS pretty much controls the tickets for MLS Cup Final, but you don't have to worry that much about selling tickets because probably 65-70% of people there are going to be the home team's fans.
Yeah.
No matter what team it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, and travel arrangements, you don't have the only people that's going to travel are the whatever the away section is.
Well, now we know it's going to be a Western Conference team traveling.
Right, correct. Because Atlanta and the Red Bulls have the best record, so not our fucking concern.
No,
damn straight.
Real quick, getting back to the game because I didn't want to forget about this. I just wanted to point out that they had 2 fantastic free kick attempts. One was the first goal. And the other one that I loved was the pass out to the left side of the goal, where they tried to get to the left side and then cross it in front of the goal mouth. It didn't work out, but I thought that was a really creative play. Unfortunately, they'll probably never do it again because they did it once. And
now people know what's coming.
Right, but I will give them credit because I really liked the play. It was different, and it shows that they can keep coming up with different creative ways to put the ball in there.
So speaking of, because I was watching it, that first goal, by the way, Sean Davis puts in a perfect ball.
Mm-hmm.
Royer heads it back. Long takes the shot, and Mawil, I think he was trying to get his foot out of the way, but it ended up being the perfect deflection. And if you don't know, Mawil actually got credited for the goal because of that deflection.
Oh, we are aware.
Well, in case somebody was in the stadium and wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, they did not make an announcement in the stadium.
Yeah, because they didn't make the announcement until right before halftime on TV. That's why I didn't think it was.
Yeah.
Pat, would it have killed you if you put the bet on Aaron Long scoring the first goal in the game again?
Oh my God! Because I was thinking that when I thought it was Aaron Long, I was like, man, the one. But I mean, again, I refuse to bet on the Red Bulls here on out.
No, I agree. It's just funny that it's like it was him who quote unquote scored the first goal.
Yeah.
Now here's the question: would Pat have thought to cash the ticket out quick enough before they changed it?
I don't know. I don't know what the rules are there. If they pay out, can they take it back? I don't know if they can. But I feel like in the past they have
They wait till the game is over?
They wait a long time to award goals, like, because soccer is definitely one of those sports where it's fluky and you're never quite sure.
Right. It's like hockey, the same way. Like, oh, by the way, we're changing, you know, the credits to the goal.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are we done with this game?
No, let's just keep talking about it for another 3 hours because it was quite a great game.
I mean, I'm watching. I can just do live commentary. Well, sort of live commentary from the 37th minute on, if you want.
Yeah.
Pretty boring.
Second shout out to flames that shoot up in the sky and smoke. That was cool.
Oh, seriously, I meant to mention that. I don't know whose idea was to add it now, but I love the fact you added it for the playoffs.
Yeah.
I saw some people complaining that, like, you know, other teams do it.
Who cares?
Right.
Like, what do you want to do? Like, just like Red Bull cannons? Like, have like milk cans raining down and hitting people in the head?
Here's the thing. For other teams, it's the norm. For the Red Bulls right now, it is special.
Right.
That's the difference. Because I guarantee you, come regular season next year, those pyros go away.
Yeah. I think they should just get a bull, paint it red, and run it out after every goal.
Yeah.
And just give a double middle finger to
have it run into a big hat and an apple pops up.
Perfect.
All right. So Atlanta, when they hosted New York City for the second leg, they already won 3-1 victory. So they won their series 4-1. Leg one against Atlanta is going to be Sunday, November 25th at Atlanta. And then the second leg is going to be on the 29th, which is a Thursday at home. And then we're not going to preview any of that right now because we'll probably talk next week.
Yeah.
The other quarterfinal. Wait, sorry, what were we going to say?
I was going to say quickly, I mean, are we going to do a show before the game? We probably are, right?
I figured. I mean.
Well, I just wanted to give a shout out. Seeing Red is doing a watch party at Grasshopper on the Green for that game in Morristown, if you were so inclined. I mean, Red Bull Rant will be having its own watch party on a black and white TV with the bunny rabbit ears under a bridge.
Yeah,
that too. We haven't decided what bridge yet, but we're working on it.
You got to find the bridge. We'll give you a hint throughout the day.
Once we find the bridge, we'll let you know. But if you don't want to do the Red Bull Rant watch party, the Seeing Red watch party will be at Grasshopper on the Green. And if we can't find an adequate bridge, Truman and I might be there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I might skip out on our own watch party and just go to Morristown.
All right. The other quarterfinal matchups, Seattle in regulation 2-1 over Portland, so they tied that series 3-3, 1-1 in extra time, and then Portland advanced 4-2 on penalty kicks.
Did it to him again.
And then the other matchup would end up being a little bit of a crazy scoreline. Sporting Kansas City over RSL 4-2, so a aggregate result of 5-3.
It was over pretty quickly because it was 2-0 pretty quickly in that first half.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, who had Sporting KC versus RSL is the highest scoring matchup in this?
Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, I think it was one of those things that, again, when KC scored, RSL's like,
whatever.
We're going after him. We're going right up the gut and just going after him, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, they would have had away goals if they were closer. So
right.
And let's face it, Pecky is he's a tough out, except against Houston. But he did it with that following year with the Red Bulls. That was another one of those years they snuck in, made it to the conference finals, and they were one goal away from advancing. So I mean, Pecky is a tough out. He whatever criticism you may have as him as a coach, he's certainly tenacious.
Yeah, you're not going to worry about his teams like not playing hard or going balls out.
Mm-hmm.
And in fairness, Pecky would have won that matchup against Houston if it wasn't for the fact that away goals wasn't a thing in 2013.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yep.
And I wouldn't have seen Dom Kinnear the next day on the plane. But,
I mean, you would have saw him anyway. He just
but then I would have been like, "What's up, motherfucker?"
All right, so coming up is the international break. That's why the Red Bulls aren't playing this weekend. United States, that can't be right. 15th? Is it? Oh, it is. Damn.
It is the 15th.
I got to double check that because that doesn't seem right.
It is. I just set the DVR.
Oh, okay. So Thursday, the 15th, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, the United States is traveling to take on England. is Wayne Rooney coming back for this one? Because I heard rumors he might.
I think it's his retirement game.
Okay. It is. Yep.
I think it was unofficial when I heard it, so that's why I wasn't sure.
Which brings us to our tweet.
Yes.
Here's our tweet from Jared Marcel that we were talking about earlier. He says, U.S. men's national team versus England. What are the odds that Pulisic, quote unquote, tweaks his hamstring before Thursday?
We got a Pulisic truther here.
And then what are the odds Wayne Rooney breaks his nose?
Well, I mean, if Rooney breaks his nose, I think he's playing anyway. Pulisic, I'm not a believer of the whole he doesn't want to play for the U.S. narrative. But to be fair, if he doesn't, at this point, there've been plenty of former players who've come out that when the coach is not the guy, it's kind of hard to get up for these games. Is it an excuse? No, but I understand it. But that being said, I do think he'll play. I do think he'll finally make his return on Thursday, and he's playing. I hope he's at least looking forward to playing with guys like McKennie and Adams. I'm not sure if we've ever seen all three on the field together yet. So it'll be really exciting to see what they can do. As much as I think all of us in Red Bull Nation are like, yeah, just Tyler, go out there, jog for 10 minutes and come on out. Yeah, that's, just 10 minutes. That's all we need. Just light jog. Don't go too hard into any tackles. It's fine.
And hey, not for nothing, but I'm just saying that now that a certain team's been eliminated from the playoffs, maybe they can just have a coach in place by Thursday, right?
Yeah, sure.
Someone just got eliminated.
It's possible.
Well, I think the fact that Berhalter hasn't been named yet is like now people are thinking, oh, it's Vermees. But they're saying like Vermees would want. I read an article recently about Vermees he's a control freak, and that's half the reason SKC is so good is because from the top down, like I think food staff in like their training center goes to like the company retreat to like learn the way of the team, and that was the type of autonomy they gave Jurgen Klinsmann, and in many ways precisely the reason they hired a general manager. So it doesn't seem like Vermees would slide well into that. I still think it'll be Berhalter, but if it is, it does beg the question: what the hell are they waiting for? I think it's one of those things. If Gregor Berhalter is in a box at these games, then you'll know.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think it's just more waiting for this break to be over.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you're undermining the temporary coach anyway, but
you just would have liked to seen.
It would have been nice. It
would have been nice to see him with what the last game he's going to get with the regulars this year. Considering the next camp is Camp Cupcake, and that's when you get the guys. I mean, you might find some diamonds in the rough, but other than that, you're not going to see too much greatness.
Yeah. All right. The second game for the United States is Tuesday the 20th, 2:45 p.m. at Italy.
Hey, but it's in Belgium.
What?
They're playing in Belgium.
Yes.
Did not know that.
I don't know why, but they were playing in Belgium.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
maybe there's some unrest wherever they were going to play.
Italy. I don't know. Hasn't there been unrest in Italy since 1922?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
The Coliseum was unavailable. That was the problem.
That'd be so badass if they turned that into an arena again. I mean, not when people died. Like, you would go to a game. Like, if the U.S. played Italy in the Roman Coliseum, I would do whatever I could to get tickets to that game.
I think that would be pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially if they somehow arranged it so the players had to come up from underneath it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, on that elevator lift thing.
Yeah.
And then when the U.S. beats Italy, Del Piero gets fed to a lion.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. International call-up. Or the Thumbing Ground, by the way. International call-ups specifically for the Red Bulls in Atlanta. Red Bulls will be losing Kaku to Paraguay, Adams and Long to the United States, and Etienne to Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Haiti.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I haven't heard much about the Hawaiian national
They finally separated.
Yeah, man, I'm really glad. I mean, they do still have the Union Jack on their flag, but, I'm really glad we were able to take Bobby Wood from the Hawaiian national team.
Wow, that was just horrible.
Imagine if Brian Ching stayed loyal to Hawaii. Ooh, he scored some key goals.
All right, moving on. For Atlanta, Almiron's going to go to Paraguay. Guzan with the United States. Nagby should be with the United States, but he has declined with an injury. Martinez with
Venezuela.
I forget what VEN was.
I probably should have let you go. You might have been like, Vanatu?
And Viaba with Paraguay. So both teams have 4 players they'll be missing. And Nagby, of course, has the injury still. So,
well, I just want to say, Kaku, there's nothing wrong with the old, laxative in the food prank.
On yourself. Hey, plus that means he'll lose weight before the next game.
Yeah.
He'll just be faster.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for me.
All right, so real quick with me, because this story just actually came up, and it's not really, it's kind of soccer related because it has to do with the Azteca, where the NFL decided to not have a game there.
Yeah.
Is that official?
It's official. That field is horrific. Now, the funny thing is that the field is destroyed not because of a soccer game, because of like Shakira performing there, and the field got annihilated.
And it was in October.
Yeah. So awful. And let me say this, because I was talking about this with my friends last night. As we've known from watching what we know the reputation of the stadium and playing there as the visiting team, you would have seen maybe a good first half of football between the Chiefs and the Rams, and the second half would have sucked. And do you really want the best 2 teams in the NFL playing in that environment where you're not going to get the best out of these teams because they're not going to be able to breathe?
To be fair, what's the air quality in Los Angeles right now?
Beautiful.
Really?
Well, it's better than it used to be.
Last I checked, Malibu was on fire.
That's just fire. The Giants played in it last night. The Giants played in it last night.
Yeah, did you see the people in the crowd with the masks on? It was crazy.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
But they're also not a mile up, from sea level. So.
Yeah, no, it's a shame because I do like the international series. I don't know how much this ties into soccer. It might, because I feel like I read somewhere recently Liga MX is having financial problems. There's always been. I mean, I know what's his name. Hercules Gomez once told a story about like how corrupt those teams are. Like it's like every team had there's an official contract and there's an under the table contract, and the best players get both of those payments. But if they don't have the money, the lesser players kind of just get the one contract. So it's like, and I'm pretty sure I've read recently they're having financial troubles. So I don't know if that played into this, because I know NFL was on their case in October. Like, you got to get this field fixed. And if you've seen any images or videos of it, it is awful. I don't know.
It's horrible.
I don't know how Club America has been playing on that field.
Poorly?
So, yeah, you would assume. But it's so I guess if we want to just bring it back, since we are a soccer podcast, if this all is true about this whole financial issues, hey, opens up the door for CCL dominance. Hey, come on.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Let's finally do it. Yeah, we're all going to wash out in the first round next year.
And depending on what happens with, I can't remember the name of the club in Washington. The
Redskins.
No, the solidarity payments. I can't remember the kid's name. The plays for Tottenham now.
Plays for who?
He played for Seattle. Now he went to Tottenham.
Oh, Yedlin. He's in Newcastle.
Yeah. Well, sorry, I didn't realize you moved. But yeah, Yedlin's youth club. If they win their solidarity payment case with FIFA, apparently Liga MX is in line to pay a shit ton of money to.
Yeah, they're going to get wrecked. Yeah.
So if they're already in financial trouble, then.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to make it worse.
Yeah, it is. America.
I mean, not that MLS is going to be good because they got to pay salary payments also, but
yeah, but not as much.
But they at least seem to be in a good financial position to pay those.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they'll be in a good financial position until the CBA comes up, and then they'll be like, "We have no money."
Of course, that's how it always works.
Yeah. I guess last dumping ground has absolutely nothing to do with soccer, but rest in peace, Stanley.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's it sucks. I mean, one, his cameos were always fun in those movies. I mean, I just watched Spider-Man the other day before he passed, and like he had a great little cameo in there. He's like, Marjorie, how's your mother? It's so great. and to think, I mean, me being able to watch Spider-Man: Homecoming for the third time wouldn't have been possible without Stan Lee, because he would not have created Spider-Man, nor many of these Marvel characters that on those Saturday nights when I just don't want to do anything and just sit in and watch a movie I trust. He has given me about 20 now. So, yeah. It sucks when someone who's been so influential in pop culture like that dies.
But as we all know, the greatest movie appearance he ever had was in Mallrats.
Oh God, I forgot about that. Honestly, I think I need to go find that Mallrats episode just to watch that again.
It's not a schooner; it's a sailboat.
Schooner's a sailboat.
Mr. Bunny isn't real.
So, God, if you've never seen Mallrats, good Lord,
It's back.
Go watch that now.
It's back when Kevin Smith was good.
Yeah, that was his wheelhouse was that time.
I hope. I honestly hope that he got into Avengers 4 before he passed away.
I believe he's now become a watcher.
Yeah, I read somewhere, but this is before the last Avengers came out, that he had filmed 3 more cameos. So I don't know if that included the previous Avengers. So my hope is we at least get to see him in. Well, he was in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So
he was in every Marvel Studio produced movie.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is I hope we kind of get to say goodbye and say Captain Marvel or Avengers 4.
Yeah.
Do you remember if he was part of? At this point, there's no spoilers on Avengers Infinity War, right?
If anyone's listening, spoilers: Avengers Infinity War.
Was he part of that group that got taken out by the glove?
I don't remember what he was in that movie, but I don't think so.
No, they didn't show him. You wouldn't show. Oh man, that would be really grim if they showed Stan Lee evaporate.
Yeah. The guy's in his 90s. I'm sure that's not I don't remember what he was in that movie, but yeah, not that.
Okay, he was the bus driver.
That's right. Like, hey, you kids, haven't you seen a spaceship before?
But I was just thinking, if he was one of those ones that went away, strangely fitting.
In a way, it would be poetic.
It would have been poetic.
But then again, Ant-Man and the Wasp came out after that.
Right. Well, I haven't seen Ant-Man and Wasp yet, so I don't know how it fits in the timeline.
Yeah. Oh, it's in the timeline. Yeah, it's in the MCU.
Is it after? No, but is it after or before?
Oh, it's before the deleted scene happens during the snapping, or not the deleted scene, the after credits scene.
Okay, so it happened before the snap.
Happens before the snap, and then post credits, the snap happens.
Okay. Yeah, I got like that and Deadpool 2 to watch still from the MCU.
And by the way, Michelle Pfeiffer, one of my earliest crushes. Still. Way to go, girl.
All right, anything else for Dumping Ground?
No.
All right, then the only thing left is Truman's Terrible Team of the Week.
I was really hoping you were going to start the wrap up.
How about we just call them the Terrible Team of the Playoffs? Because that's what they seem to be the past few years, is the terrible team of the playoffs. Do I even have to say who they are?
I'm going to guess they were blue.
Yeah, and they were humiliated yet again. Not as in such bad fashion when they lost to Toronto, but still held scoreless at home. And then were they down 3-0 before they scored a goal?
2-0.
They were down 2-0 before they scored?
Yeah.
Okay. So still, they were already down 2-0. which meant was they were down 3-0 aggregate score. And they ended up losing 4-1. Blue team is bad. And I think the best meme I saw was a picture of the team saying NYCFC advanced to watch the Red Bulls continue to play in the MLS playoffs.
Actually, I'm sorry. They only gave up 1 goal before they scored. So they were down 2-0 aggregate.
Okay.
So they had a chance because they were 2-1.
But then Joseph Martinez happened.
Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. It's the stupid MLS app, and that was...
They were losing at least 2-0 in Atlanta.
They were down 3... Or sorry. Yeah, they were down
3-0 aggregate. Yes.
When they scored.
Yes.
So I do want to say one other thing about that game, and I mean this in the most neutral way possible, even though I know only one NYCFC fan listens to this show, but that I love a good post-game coach meltdown. and Dome Torrent's meltdown on Christian Arras is it's up there. It's definitely up there.
I haven't seen it. You'll have to find it and send it to our little chat.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, because I haven't seen it either. I heard about it, but I haven't seen it. All right, so wrap this one up.
Yep.
All right, patreon.com/Red Bull Rant, $1 a month, all you need for the special stuff, including the special openings, because I know somebody asked what the patron special was. That's all it really is a special open every playoff match. And if I keep it going, it will extend until next year. Email us, redbullrant@gmail.com. If you want to call us, 973-348-5329. Facebook.com/Red Bull Rant. On Twitter, @Red Bull Rant for the show. At Doc This Dude for myself. @PMAC, DA2 for Pat. @The Truman for Truman. Subscribe to our show via iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. Last words before we get out of here.
Well, I guess they took my little end of the show rant to heart because they did win that game. And I guess for now, I'm not going to say win, but I'm going to say USA, I guess, do stuff, right?
Yeah. USA don't get injured.
Yeah. There you go. No one get hurt, please.
Paraguay and Haiti too.
So for Pat, Truman, and myself, this is episode number 290 of the Red Bull Rant. Thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, go Red Bulls.
Bye-bye.
Lights.